Lovely to see you. Nice to have more than 2 people, which is what we had last week. Still, it was good. It was fun. It was interesting. My recruitment drive has started. All posters are going up, so we'll be full again in a couple of weeks' time.
Do you think a lot of it's good?
It does help, yeah. Well, a lot of people said as much because
Yeah.
they're off with the kids, and it's difficult to squeeze everything
Well,
in.
they don't go to bed that early.
They don't.
You
No.
know, when they're not at school, don't they?
They don't. We started because Celebrity Big Brother started on Monday. So Joe and I sat down to watch that, and all of a sudden my daughter appeared at the door. I don't feel very well, I can't sleep. Can I sit with you for 5 minutes? And then sat there and watched the whole of it
Yes.
till about 11 o'clock. Anyway, okay. So, usual format. We'll start with our sitting exercise. Then I'm going to talk about journeys and patience. Patience and journeys and patience. It's quite apt given the conversations that we've already had this evening. And then we'll do some breathing, and then you can all go home. So let's begin having a little look around and just seeing what we can see. Colours, shapes, perhaps spot something we've never seen before. There you go, see.
It's been ill for ages.
I'll have a word. There's probably a feedback form you can fill in. Once you've had a look around, you may close your eyes if you wish, and turn your attention to the weight of your body, sat on the seat. Aware of your head, resting on your neck, on your shoulders. Aware of your shoulders. Aware of any tension that you're holding in the neck and the shoulders. Releasing that down through your spine, down to your bottom, and aware of the weight of your bottom sat on the seat. Aware of your feet in contact with the floor. Aware of the clothes against your skin. Even down to your feet. You become aware of the very faint movement of air on your skin, on your face, on your hands, on your neck. It's very faint, but it's there. Next, take a breath in through your nose and become aware of smell. And then bring to your awareness the taste in your mouth at this moment in time. And then bring sound to your awareness. just extending the field of your hearing, accepting sound, allowing it to happen moment by moment. If your mind wanders, acknowledging that it's wandered, accepting that it's wandered, because it doesn't matter, and just returning to listening. So I decided to talk about journeys and patience, in particular journeys. And there were two events over the recent week that prompted me to consider that and think about it being this week. One of them was my trip to Scarborough last week, and the return journey, which was 300 miles to Scarborough. And on the way home, we left at about 9 o'clock in the morning. And we got in at 6 o'clock in the evening. So that was 4 of us, cooped up in a Citroën Zara Picasso. Other French cars are available. Me, the wife, 2 children under the age of 10, and a sat-nav. And it was a long way. And it took a long time. And it required a lot of patience. And I must admit, I'll hold my hands up, I didn't do brilliantly. There were a few moments, particularly when I took a wrong turn and started going back towards Hull, when patience was stretched, to say that. The kids did brilliantly. The kids did a lot better than myself and my wife did. Probably because they've got those DVD players that go on the back of the seats. You know, I remember being a kid, and all I'd have to get me through a 6-hour car drive into the darkest depths of France would be a Biggles book and a word search. Whereas, you know, my kids now have got the beauty of being able to watch films back to back. It's not quite so. Yeah, it is. It's not quite so obvious. So there was this marathon journey, which was long and arduous and required great patience. That was one thing that prompted me to think journeys might be a suitable topic. And then the other one was the finale of Big Brother, the normal Big Brother. We've started the celebrity one now, but last week was the conclusion of ordinary Big Brother. And when the housemates emerge from the house, they always talk about the journey that they've been on. Oh, it was a journey of self-discovery, being cooped up in a house with, you know, these people going nowhere and not having to worry about bills and shopping and all that kind of stuff. So they talk about their journey there, which prompted me to think about journeys. And there seems to be a tendency in modern life and for people to put a lot of focus on destination. So when you're on a journey, you're trying to get somewhere, whether it's home or somewhere else, and there's a lot of focus on the destination. And people seem to think that it all rests on the destination. Oh, I'll be happy if I can get a new job. I'll be happy when I've got enough money to pay off the credit card bill. I'll be happy when I can just get away on holiday. I'll be happy when I get my relationship sorted out. Or I'll be happy if I can get into a relationship. There's always the destination. If this happens, then I'll be happy. Then I'll be at peace. Then I can relax. Then I can move on. So there's always a lot of focus on the destination. Getting to that point. And that's always future focused as well. It's always about something happening in the future, this point in time in the future when everything will be alright, when you get to this particular place and everything will be fine. Of course we don't know that, for one. Looking at it then from a mindful perspective, if you do get that new job, what's to say that the new job won't be worse than the old job? Because the people that you work with, the boss might be even 10 times worse than the one you've had. We don't know. Who's to say that the relationship that you're about to fall into couldn't be the most catastrophic relationship that you've ever been involved in, ever? We don't know these things. That's why we can't put all of our eggs in that basket. Not gamble on that future event being the answer to our prayers and our problems. So there's the focus on the destination, and then they say, don't they, that it's not about, if you're on a journey or if you're travelling, it's not about the journey, it's not about the destination, it's not about where you're going to, it's about the process of getting there. And I suppose that's what they mean when in Big Brother, when they talk about the journey, the spiritual journey that they've been on whilst they've been partaking in this game show. And it's about that path that they've walked or travelled. It's not the destination, it's the journey itself. And again, I suppose it goes back to one of the things I talked about in previous weeks. I talked about spirals. Who was here for spirals? I don't know if you guys were here for spirals. And I alluded to the fact that our journey through life is like a spiral. It's like the groove on a record. You put the needle on the record and it spins and it gradually works its way towards the centre. And sometimes it feels as if we're just going around in circles and we're repeating ourselves and doing the same things again and again and again. But actually, we're always at a different point within that groove, within that spiral. Even though it feels like we're going around in circles, we're actually, the moment in time, this moment right now, the point when the needle is in contact with the record, or the point where we are in that spiral journey, that moment right now, is always a different point. It's not one we've been on before. So it's difficult to see the entire journey. If we're mindful and we're in the moment, then we're not necessarily concerned with where we were in the past. Well, we're not concerned with where we were in the past. That's the point of it, isn't it? Being mindful. We're not worried about the past. We're not concerned with the future, because one's gone, one hasn't happened. So we're only in the moment. In which case, we're not actually moving at all. If we've no concern or focus on the past or the future, and where we've been or where we're going, then are we moving at all? No. Because we're always now. We're always here, we're always now. So we're not on a journey. There is no journey. Because there is only here and now. If there's only here and now, there isn't a journey. So that takes me on to think about patience. And patience, or our lack of patience. We lose our patience when we don't get what we want. When what's happening in the present moment isn't what we want to be happening. And we don't want to wait any longer for what we want to happen, we become impatient. When we've waited for a long time, when we've waited for however long it is for the kids to do what they're told, or for the kids to do what we've asked them to do, we finally lose our patience. Because we're not getting what we want. So there's an ego thing involved there. We think we have to be patient to wait for the good things to happen, to arrive at that destination. Be patient until we get that good job. Be patient until we find that perfect relationship. Be patient until we've got enough money to pay off all the debts and free ourselves from financial burden. But again, it's that focus on the destination and focus on what we want, the situation we want, or stuff that we want. And again, if we're mindful, if we're not labelling things, if we're not labelling things as being good or bad, we're just accepting how things are at this moment in time. If we are going beyond and above ego, where we're not being dictated to by these egotistical demands and these egotistical wants, because we know that that's just a function of brain rather than a part of our being, then actually, again, patience isn't a requirement. Patience doesn't exist. We don't have to be patient because we're not wanting anything to happen. We're not wanting anything to be any different than how it is, because we can accept that at this moment in time, this is what is happening. We just accept it. So, to be truly mindful, to be living absolutely in the moment and accepting the present moment for whatever it gives us, then we don't have to feel we don't have to feel that we're on a journey because we're not on a journey. We don't have to feel that we're being patient because there's no requirement to be patient. We're not waiting for anything to happen. We're not waiting for anything to change. There's no need for patience in the present moment because it is here now. You don't have to wait for it. It's here and it's now. So, what's the point? The point of my ramblings. The point is, don't focus on destination. And don't feel that you're undertaking some journey. I suppose it alludes to what I've spoken to in the past about experience. Do we cling to experience? Is there value in experience? Possibly, but only if you use it in the present moment. And if you use what you've learned and bring it to the present moment, rather than assuming that it's some kind of pot of gold, some treasure that you can hoard around with you. And the destination. We don't focus on the destination. We're not concerned with where we're going, or even where we've been. It's just about accepting where we are now. Because there is no journey, it will happen on its own accord. It's kind of, I suppose it's going back to that story of the bird. The bird that picked up stones to remind itself of the things that had happened in its life, until it had so many stones it couldn't fly and it was no longer free. And that's the same if we focus on our destinations too much. We're no longer free to enjoy the present moment. That's not to say, and this is something that comes up, and people ask me about it, that's not to say that we can't, because people say, well, how can you make plans? How can you plan for something if you're being mindful? Because plans are about something happening in the future. I say, well, you can still plan for situations. It's okay to have a plan. But when you're doing the planning, that activity needs to happen mindfully. When you're creating a plan, you're doing that in the present moment. The planning, here and now. So you create the plan mindfully. And then you must be prepared to adjust the plan as the moment changes and as the moment unfolds. Don't feel that you have to stick religiously to a plan, because don't let the plan dictate your destination. Because there is no destination, there is no journey, there's no need to be patient, because there is only now. Let's breathe. Let's breathe in the moment. Because there's no destination with breath. Ooh, juggling. There's no need to be patient with breath. We don't have to wait patiently for the next breath to happen. Nor do we have to feel that our breath is taking us somewhere. There is no... That's why the breath is such a fantastic and important and pivotal, central element to mindfulness. Breathing has no destination. We breathe in, we breathe out, and then there's a little pause in between. And then we do it again, and again, and again. And each breath is different. It's like that spiral. It happens continuously, round and round. But each one is different. Each breath happens in a different moment. From the first breath we take on the outside when we're a tiny baby, all the way into the last breath that we take right in the middle, hopefully when we're nice and old. But the breath happens moment by moment. There's no journey. And we don't have to be patient and wait for the breath. I suppose if you're 10 foot underwater and you're trying to get up to the surface, then there might be a requirement to be a little bit patient there. As you clamber to get to the surface and take a breath again. There's probably an opportunity to be mindful in a different way in that situation. Okay. So if you feel comfortable, you can close your eyes. Otherwise, you can keep your eyes open. But just turn that focus now, and that awareness to your breathing. And we'll start at the nostrils. And just follow each individual breath as it happens, in and out. Right to the point that the air enters and leaves your body at the nostrils. And then move back and follow the breath in the back of the throat. Just behind the soft palate. Just be aware of the movement there. With each individual breath as it happens. And then be aware of the breath at the top of your chest. Now you can begin to feel the movements of your body. There's a distinct rise and fall. And also at this point you can really become aware of the pause between breaths. And then finally become aware of the breath right down at the diaphragm, the base of the lungs. And allow yourself to just take a few steady, deep breaths, not forced, but just good quality breaths. Because we're not trying to go anywhere, we're not trying to be different, we're not trying to be anything other than we are at this moment in time. Because we are all absolutely perfect. In this moment, we are absolutely perfect. So just as you breathe in, smile. As you accept that in this moment, you are fine. You're perfect, everything's fine. You're alive and you're just being alive. There is nothing more important than that. Just feel alive as you breathe in. And as you breathe out, smile. Breathe in and feel alive. Breathe out and smile as you just accept being alive and being absolutely fine in this moment. So we breathe in and feel alive. We breathe out and smile, and as you smile, you feel that smile within yourself, within your being. And you can be aware of the fact that that smile doesn't exist in your head. You don't feel it in your head. It's not a function of brain. That smile is part of your being. You're actually aware that it emanates from and resides somewhere else within your being. So we breathe in and feel alive. We breathe out and we smile at life, and we connect with that smile. And then we become aware of that pause between breaths, and we allow that smile to fill the pause, to dissolve into the pause, to evaporate into the pause. fill the void within that pause. Breathe in and smile. We breathe in and feel alive. We breathe out and smile. Breathe in and feel alive. Breathe out and smile. And then allow that smile to fill the void and the peace of that pause. Just allow and accept your being to fill that pause, that moment of peace, that void between breaths. Just allow that to happen now for the next few breaths. There is no journey. There is nothing to wait for and nothing to be patient for. There is just your smile and your being filling that void between breaths. If your mind wanders, it's fine. It doesn't matter. Just accept that it's wandered and then go back to following the breath, breathing in and feeling alive, breathing out and smiling, and then filling the void between them, the gap between with that smile, that being. And when you're ready, you may open your eyes. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
I'll see you next week.